Okay, our Father in heaven, I pray in Yeshua's name that this word comes from you and not from me. And whatever you want to teach today through me, it will be your perfect word, our Father. Okay, Parashat Korach. The destructive power of envy. Have we ever talked about envy? Plenty of times. In that last week's parasha, we found out that an entire generation wouldn't enter the land. God instructed Jews to reverse course and to head back to the desert. A group of people awoke the next day and decided, let's go for it. Let's go to the Holy Land. They were sorry. They repented of their doubt. Despite Moses warning them that their plan would not succeed. The group is cut down and finished by the Amalekites and the Canaanites. The Israelites find a man gathering wood on Shabbat. The people brings this man to Moses. And God instructs to Moses that everyone must stone him to death. Then God instructs to place fringes, tzitzit, in your garments, so that you will remember to fulfill the mitzvot, the divine commandments, and to be holy to God, to remember God. So you will think that after having all this, the rebellion and the bad report, they're trying to go to the land of Israel and being to wear the tzitzit as a reminder of the commandments. You will think the people will say, okay, God have shown us enough that this is what God wants to do through Moses. So after all those events in this Torah portion, we have the rebellion of Korach. What happened to Korach? Wasn't he aware of what just happened? Or he was hiding in his tent and he didn't realize, he wasn't aware of it. As everything in life, sometimes passes when you go through any experience in life. After it's done and it's over, you forget about any experience, every bad and sour thing that you have gone through. That's life. You forget. If you go through a terrible thing in life, it will pass. Trust me. Doesn't mean that you won't remember. It will hurt you. But time continues and it passes. Korach, a Levite, with Datan and Aviram from the tribe of Ruben, and 250 other leaders. Picture this. Korach from the tribe of Levite, two other guys, Datan and Aviram from the tribe of Ruben, the firstborn of Jacob, and 250 other leaders, high leaders, no any people, leaders, come to Moses and challenge his leadership, and come to Moses and challenge Aaron because he was chosen to be the priest. The sages explain that this next door neighbor relationship led to the Reubenites into participation in this rebellion. Korach's initial grievances against Moses and Aaron had nothing to do with the Reubenites, but through frequent conversation and the subtle manipulation of ideas, Korach was able to draw his neighbors into the plan. Proverbs 27:17 from the TLV version says, as iron sharpens iron, so a person sharpens the countenance of his friend. This proverb, iron sharpens iron, means that the people can improve and become better through interaction and mutual influence with others. Just as two pieces of iron can sharpen each other through friction, Individuals can refine and enhance each other's character, skills, or understanding through constructive relationship and challenges. Some interpretations also emphasize that God is the ultimate force behind this sharpening process, using relationships to refine and mold individuals. The sayings, there is a beautiful saying my mother used to tell us all the time, and still does, in Spanish: tell me who you hang out with, and I will tell you who you are. It suggests that your character can be judged by the company you keep. It implies that the people you associate with have a significant influence on your own behavior and personality. And how the people we spend time with, our friends, can shape our thoughts, actions, and even our future. On the surface, their claim is covered with an egalitarian spirit. Korach's attitude, he's talking on behalf of the people. Come on, people, you didn't know this? Korach was right to do so, wasn't he? I don't hear anything. At the Korach goes and tells Moses, all the congregation is holy. We are holy. We're the chosen people. So why you and Aaron lift yourself about the assembly of God? It sounds like a noble call for justice. Everybody deserves justice, and everybody deserves rights, and everybody deserves the same. But Moses discerning the real reasoning motive behind Korach. Instead of arguing back with him, what he did? Falls his face in anguish. What lies underneath this confrontation? At the heart of Korah's rebellious and envy is envy. Envy is one of those things that eats you, rottens you. The Midrash teaches us that Korah was motivated not by a desire to elevate the community, but by a jealousy, and that he was unnoticed for leadership in favor of Aaron and others. If you don't know, Moses, Aaron, and Korah were cousins. Like, you have a cousin? Give me a name of your cousin, Uriel. Oh, forget it. Okay, Isaac, give me a name of... Okay, you have a cousin. Daniel, cousin. Simon. They have cousins. They have the same father. Or, in this case, same sister. So, Moses, Aaron, and Korah are from the tribe of Levi, sharing the same grandfather, Kehat or Kohat. Amram, the father of Moses and Aaron, and Itzhar, the father of Korah, were brothers. Korah and Moses have the same potential, even though that they were not raised in the same house, because we know where Moses was raised. But Korah and Aaron were raised basically in the same, we can assume that they were raised in the same household, neighbors. They knew each other. We do know from commentaries that Korah was older. And that's the reason of the jealousy here. Korah wanted to understand why not him. In a way, he could understand why Moses. Okay, Moses was raised in a palace. Moses was gifted, talented. He was raised in Pharaoh's house. But why Aaron? He was raised with me. I'm the eldest here. In all this dilemma, Moses doesn't argue back with Korah. He goes to God. And Aaron doesn't even open his mouth. That teaches you wisdom. You cannot engage in the back and forth, because sometimes it's wiser to keep your mouth shut Even though people may think, that's a chicken, I won, ha ha ha. No. Sometimes when you shut your mouth, sorry, I didn't say that to you directly, but when you shut your mouth, you have more chances of winning. Engaging with that doesn't elevate you. Engaging in situations as such won't ever elevate you. Instead, you will go down and you will just, in a way, diminish yourself, I could say. Korach allowed envy to take control of his life. And he made his life bitter, rebelling against his cousins. It says that the earth opens up and swallows Korach, Datan, Aviram, and their families and possessions. And the heavenly fire consumes the rest of the 250 rebels. So the earth opens, swallows these three guys and all their possessions. And then the 250 people that were also with the incense, trying to show God, hello, we are also chosen. Fire comes out, extra crispy, gone. Moses instructs Eleazar, Aaron's sons, to retrieve the frying pans. They were gone. The frying pans are laying on the ground. Go retrieve the frying pans. And that, 1 second, let me go here. I got lost a little bit. And bring them back to the altar. Flatten them and place them on the altar. And to make it visible for any individual who ever wishes to challenge Aaron's priesthood. According to the Midrash, Korach and his followers were heard crying out, Moses and his Torah are true, and we are liars, even after the earth swallowed them. The next day, the community, guess what they did? They go back to Moses and complains. Moses and Aaron are to be blamed for the deaths of God's people. And then what happens? A plague comes to the nation, and many thousands were dying. Moses tells Aaron, quickly, take a fire pan with incense and go into the midst of the congregation and atone for their sin. Aaron, without hesitation, just does and moves and goes forward. Kadimah. He stands between the living and the dead. And the plague stopped. Nevertheless, 14,700 people die because of rebellion. We all have the potential in our lives. But know when we focus on what the other person has. Know when we focus on what they're doing. Let's focus in our lives, how we can improve ourselves. We can choose to elevate ourselves as Moses did. He didn't get mouth to mouth, fight to fight. No, he went to God. God showed me, showed them. Envy brings bitterness into our lives. Envy doesn't inspire growth. Instead, lead us to rebellion, disunity, and ultimately to destruction. Envy is one of the most destructive forces in human character. Unlike anger and pride, which can be a momentary or for a season, you can get upset now. You can be proudful right now. You can have pride right now. But then it happens, like you say, okay, forget it. Or you can be upset. And then the next day you're not. It can be momentary. But envy is chronic. It can eat your soul, distorting your self-esteem and success. When you are looking what your neighbor has and you don't. or what they are capable to do and you are not doing. Instead of seeing others' greatness as a source, we should focus. If we see something that is beautiful, be inspired by it. How I can be, emulate, how I can also learn more, or how can I do the beautiful dance, or how can I dress that way, act that way, like I like it. Be inspired by it, but don't envy that. Korach was a Levite with a respected role in the Mishkan service. I picture like this, it's like coming to shul. And we all have a role, what to do. We all have it. And I always have said this since we started ministry, and we were not here on the Vima, but we were helping in the ministry. And do it with love. Everything you do, even to set up this mic, even to set up the ark, even to put this flag, anything, even to make a cup of coffee, bring water, do it with a smile in your face. It makes a complete difference. It makes a huge difference. This is not the only envy show that we see in the scriptures. We have seen it over and over. We have Cain and Abel, Rachel and Leah, Joseph and his brothers, Haman and Mordecai, Moses and the Israelites, and then finally we have also Korach, Datan, and Aviram. These stories demonstrate that envy, if left unchecked, can lead to harmful actions, discord, and even violence. Jewish tradition teaches us that while feelings of jealousy may arise, it is crucial to channel them, focusing on improving oneself rather than bringing down others. The sin of coveting, forbidden by the 10th commandment, is a specific example of acting upon envy. Have you ever felt envy in your life? Raise your hand. Wow. Good to know that you don't. Some of you don't feel envy. Baruch Hashem.
Not anymore.
Okay, beautiful. But let me tell you, if ever you have a tiny little envy there that corrodes your spirit, your bones, and everything in you, and is oppressive, if you are going to envy something, let me share what you can envy. Righteousness, and pursue it. Envy righteousness and pursue it. Learn to be righteous, to do good at any time without expecting anything. The contrast between Korach and Moshe is striking. Moses is described as exceedingly humble, more than any person in the face of the earth. His mission was always about service, no status. When challenged, he didn't respond with threats, but with prayer, tears, and appeals to God for discernment and deliverance. His leadership was about responsibility, not recognition. I am, I do, I take, No. He sees everything you do and everything that everybody does. He sees everything. I don't know you, but this is, and I'm as imperfect as everybody can be. Trust me on that. When I walk in my house, when I walk to my job, when I'm in the bus or driving my car, I have God present in my life. And sometimes when I do something that is not so kosher, I know He's watching. Be aware of His presence. Many people do not believe that Moses, Aaron, the prophets are at all important anymore. The Messiah came and they're poof, vanished. A lot of people, they don't even recognize Israel. And we have a lot of believers that they don't recognize Israel. They want you to forget Israel. Now they're the chosen ones. Now they're the new Israel. Messiah says, unless we believe Moses, we cannot believe in Messiah. He says in John 5:46 through 47, for if you were believing Moses, you will believe me, because he wrote about me. But since you do not believe his writings, how will you believe my words? This is for some believers that have disregarded the Torah and the prophets. I'm talking about believers that Yeshua doesn't have any roots with Israel. That he came and, Israel, you're gone. We read it every week on Shabbos, Matthew 5:17. Yeshua says clearly, I have not come to erase the Torah nor the prophets. I came here to fulfill them. True leadership, the Torah teaches us in this parasha, that cannot be built on jealousy or ambitions. We cannot have the mentality of what is there for me or what I can get out of this. True leadership must be grounded in humility, service, and a calling greater than oneself. Despite Korach's rebellion, we know God didn't erase his descendants. Korach's descendants wrote some beautiful, moving psalms, 11 of them. The prophet Samuel is descendant of Korach. This connection emphasized in Jewish tradition, and it highlights a powerful message about the possibility of redemption, even from a lineage associated with rebellion. We will never understand how good God is in his mercy. We have a little tiny experience when we have a child, when we have a pet, when we have friends, nieces, nephews. We understand a little bit God's love and mercy, but we will never understand him, because his love and his mercy is forevermore. So how do you repair the damage that envy causes? The Torah offers a precise path forward. Later in the parasha, after the rebellion stopped, God commands that the staff of each tribe be placed in the tents of meeting. Miraculously, only Aaron's staff blossomed with buds, flowers, and ripe almonds. God commands Moses to return Aaron's staff to the Holy of Holies and be kept there. This is not just a supernatural sign. It is a confirmation of God choosing Aaron as the high priest. The staff that blossoms represent the model of leadership that is life-giving and rooted. True leadership causes others to bloom, not wither. And unlike the consuming fire of Korach's rebellion, Aaron's blossoming staff brings peace and clarity. Korach's envy brought fire from heavens. Aaron's staff brought fruit. Where do you want to be? You want to be like Korach? You want to be like Aaron? Envy destroys. By emulation builds. Instead of asking, why don't I have what they have again and again, or looking what your neighbor has, turn that envy into inspiration or aspiration. Do something about it. Turn it for good. Emulate that. Even the Messiah teaches us about envy in Mark 7:20 through 23. And he continued, if it was comes out of the man that makes the man unholy, for from within, out of the heart of men come evil intentions, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, wickedness, deceit, lustfulness, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things come from within and make the men unholy. This parasha ends with God commanding the priests and the Levites to carefully guard the tabernacle. Nobody else is allowed outside of the Levites to be in the tabernacle. I don't know if you know that. It was this part when basically the tabernacle just kept for the Levites. And it's remarked here. God finalized the distinctions of the Cohen, the priests, Levites, and the Israelites. Everybody has a different task. Everybody has a different task. Aaron is informed that his descendants will not receive a portion in the land of Israel. Instead, God is their inheritance and portion. The Levites too will not receive a share of the land of Israel. Instead, they are entitled to a tenth of all the Israelites, crops for the service at the tabernacle and at the temple. And the Levites must separate the tenth of this tithe and give it to the priest. Korach's stories challenge us not only as an individual, but as a community and our future generations. As Messianic Jews, are we promoting leaders who seek service or those who seek power? Are we cultivating humility in ourselves and in our children? Or are we reinforcing a culture of competition and status? Let us choose to be like Moses and Aaron, leaders grounded in humility, committed to the collective good, and resistant to the seductive voice of envy. We need that more than ever. I don't know you, but I'm sick and tired of the news. I watch them because I have to. But honestly, I'm sick and tired of the news. And this is when we say we want Messiah to come back, to be here. Because things are getting, so let's bring, there's so much ugliness outside that we don't need that in our house, with our friends, with our communities. We need a place of shalom, a safe place where we can come and be in shalom always. May we each find the strength to root out envy from our hearts and to nurture leadership both in ourselves and in others that brings life, not destruction. And on that note, Shabbat Shalom to you all. Amen.